morning and welcome back to Handmade with Tara. I am Tara, an independent demonstrator for Stampin' Up! In the United States, and I am a stay-at-home mom to 3 beautiful boys, and at any point in time they could interrupt me, so I'm going to apologize in advance this morning. And same goes for my dog, who you might hear barking in the background. But this is the set that I'm working on today, Country Flowers. I have 3 designs for you and then maybe a bonus design at the end if I have time. And we're just going to jump right into it because this is an advanced workshop. I am going to be using advanced techniques, and I'm also going to be using lots of coloring, lots of die cutting. This suite can be found on page 50 and 51 of the newest catalog, of the annual catalog, and the suite collection includes 2 stamp sets, the paper, the designer series paper for 2 different designer series papers, some of these pearls, smoky slate pearls, an embossing folder, ribbon. I am going to be using the embossing folder, but I don't have this ribbon yet, and I don't have these pearls yet, so I am going to use what I have. And what I do is I go ahead and pull all of the colors that coordinate with the suite. That can be shown right here at the bottom of this page, and then also on the back of the designer series paper you can also find all the different coordinating colors. So these are the colors that I pulled here, and we're just going to go ahead and jump into it. So this is design number 1. This is design number 2. This is design number 3 here. And like I said, I might have one bonus design if I have time. So we're going to go ahead and jump right into this. I tried to have everything blocked and ready to go so that it would be very simple to just grab my different stamps and keep working, but they're not all blocked, I don't believe. So, and I'll show you as I use stuff what I'm using here. Wrong side. Okay. So first of all, you want to cut a 5.5 by 4 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4, and then a 5 1/4 by 4 insert. So that's these 2 pieces here. And you can stamp this before you insert it. So if you want to, if you know what you want to put on the inside here, but I'm just going to go ahead and get that insert put in. I do like to use the glue the best as my adhesive is choice because I can kind of move things around as I put them down to line them up how I like them, like that. And I went ahead and I cut, this is the designer series paper, it's 2-sided, so that's this blue, the other side here, and this is also cut 5 1/4 by 4, which I have all the measurements here. I'm just going to set this aside. Actually, here, if you want to if you want to pause it, write down those numbers, write down those things. And then we'll keep moving. So I haven't been coughing, but I woke up and I'm like kind of coughing this morning. So I'm sorry if I'm choking. I got some coffee before I started, which is always a good thing, because then I can relax. Alright, so easy peasy. I'm just going to put that down. That's going to make a nice background for me. And then I have a couple of smaller pieces here. So 2 by 2.5 white, and I'm going to emboss this one. So I'm just going to try, I think I'm going to be able to go straight down. So I'm going to emboss that. Then I'm going to use the Designer Series pot, the stool, and and there's also another embossed plant here that I'm going to use. And then I have a scrap white for my plant. So I'm going to grab the dies that I need here. I'm going to use this stool. It's going to be this piece here. I might be able to get all these through on the same pass. So this one, and then I used this one. And so I'm going to run all of these through. And then I'm going to emboss this one. And the embossing folder that I used is this Eyelet embossing folder. It's a 3D embossing folder. Is the one that I used here. So I'll be right back. Okay, so got my teapot. I got my little stool. If you like to color, you're going to love this workshop today, because I did a lot more coloring than I normally do with my blends. I'm excited to show you these projects. They turned out really beautiful, and I think that this set is very, very beautiful. So here we go. That piece. And I can set this aside for now. And I can do some stamping. So I'll do my sentiment on this smaller piece here. And this is 2 by 1 1/4. And I'm also going to stamp the stool just so that there's like a nice outline of the stool. Let's see if I have a block that's not being used, so I have to grab my box. Okay. And I'm just going to use Memento Black to stamp these. And if you haven't already, please like and subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to do at least one tutorial per month, at least one, hopefully two. And that just all depends on my kids and what we have going on, but I do my best as a busy mom. So that's the one. We're also going to do the stool. And so you can actually stamp this before you die cut, but I decided that this was a nice chunky stamp. I'll be able to line it up. There we go. See, look how beautiful. That was lucky. So, can't believe where the summer has gone. I have been going nonstop, I feel like, all summer long, and my kids start school on the 14th of August. So I am just about, oh, you know what? I'm actually going to use this some more because I'm going to do, I actually did the pot too. Man, I did everything. I just didn't realize how much I stamped. I also stamped the pot outline. Might have messed that up a little bit, but that's okay. Oh, it's not bad. It's not as bad as I thought. And plant. I'm just gonna put this here. Beautiful. Beautiful. I always like, my husband wakes me up before he goes to work and I'll go and make his lunch for him or whatever, but the benefit to that is that I'm up early. Usually I do not wake up that early. I like to sleep in because I stay up late. But okay, so I'm gonna die cut this out, but before I do that, I'm gonna go ahead and color it just because it's easier, especially since I am only using one color, which is Shaded Spruce. So I'm going to use this color and I'm going to show you how I save time. I just go, since I'm going to go over the whole plant, I just go like this. All right. There is some actual coloring in this tutorial, I swear, but this isn't it. All right. This is just me showing a hack for doing this quickly. So I go like that if I'm doing one color, and then I set that aside. I'm going to try to put my markers back where they go as I use them so that I can get them all put away. And then I'm just outlining the black marks with the dark. So I used light first, go over the whole thing. Then I use the dark to go over the black lines. And I am not the best color, but I typically, these are very simple to use. These blends are my favorite. I have markers. I rarely use them. I just love my blends too much. And some of them I use a lot, so you'll see. The tips aren't as nice as this. I feel like the shaded spruce must be new because it's very nice. What has everybody been doing all summer? I try to do play dates and stuff with the kids' friends over the summer, and it has been so busy. We do also lots of appointments and stuff over the summer. That's always fun. So this, I'm just going to line it up like that. I'm going to use a little piece of washi tape to keep that in place. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut that out. I love die cuts, you guys. Like, look how easy this is. It saves me so much time from having to fussy cut. And then I can still use the other half of this when I need to. And put this die over here. And I am going to fussy cut a little bit. So grab my snips. And I'm just going to cut around this. Sentiment. And so you can coordinate with the paper as far as the sentiment goes. Usually I like to do darker colors for the sentiment so they're easy to read when whoever receives the card gets it. So just a real simple cutting around the sentiment, and you can cut closer if you want to. Just personal preference. But if you do try to make any of my cards, please tag me. Tag at Handmade with Tara. And let me see what you did or what colors you used or whatever. Would love to see that. And we'll start building this card. So what I do is start with this emboss piece here. And out of the cards that I made, I asked my husband which one was his favorite. He said he liked this one. He said this one was nice and clean, beautiful, simple. And he said that it was his favorite, which I was very surprised because we have very different tastes. I love this one too because I obviously made it, but I thought some of the other ones that I did were better. It's so funny how we kind of what our eyes like and how different it can be. When you find something everybody universally likes, that's the trick, right? So I'm going to put this one up here. I really was not coughing before this morning. I'm really hoping my little baby boy, my youngest, has been coughing. And I really hope he didn't give me whatever he had, because that's no fun. It's no fun to be sick. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just eyeballing this, guys. There's no rhyme or reason. It's just going where it looks good to me as I'm putting it down. And then I put dimensionals on the back of the plant here. I think I can get away with one here. And then I kind of just put it so it's coming out of this plant. Coming out of this pot. And then the same with the sentiment here. Boom. I'm just going to put that right there. And the last thing, I found these old, I think they were Christmas something or other, but they, red and green adhesive back pearls. But they also had these silver ones, and I thought that these would look good. So we are just going to add a couple of these. So that's that. And I love these little boxes here. I use these to like keep all my gems together, and they lock closed on the side, but that's card number 1. Done. All right, cruising right along because I definitely want to get to that 3rd project if I can, or 4th project, I'm sorry. And these kind of take a little bit of time because this is the next one that I'm going to do here. And this one has a lot of fussy cutting and a lot of coloring. And it also has heat embossing. So I'm going to start building this card. This one goes with the first one. Let's see. So, and I also use stamp cases. So I'll just show you really quick. But I use stamp cases to organize my projects. And I cut them out like as I'm making them, and I also write down the measurements as I'm making them so that I can reference them. I'm not great about putting them all down. Sometimes I have to do this again and again, but there's a little bit of cutting on this one. So we're going to do that same plant that I did on the last one. I'm going to use that one. I'm going to stamp the flowers on this one. We're going to, this is the designer series paper. This is the other one, and that's sweet. It was Country Woods, I believe, and Country Floral. My doggy, the little black lab, she's wanting in. Okay, Country Lace and Country Woods. Okay. So this is from the, I believe it's from the Country Lace. And then this is just a little piece of beige, the newest color, like one of our newest colors, basic beige. And this is 4 3/4 by 3 3/4. And then the designer series paper is just 4 5/8 and 3 5/8. So it's just cutting it just a little smidge smaller than that. And I'm going to add those together here. And I used Petal Pink for the backdrop, and this is again 5.5 by 8.5 scored at 4 1/4, which I don't think I wrote that down. This little piece is 2 by 2. It's a pool party color, and then this is just an insert, which 5 1/4 by 4. And I do all of them the same just to kind of keep it easy, as far as easier to keep track of the inserts and stuff like that. So all of my inserts are the same. Again, you can stamp this if you want to, if you already know who you're sending it to. Sometimes that helps. But I like to leave them blank, then that way I can change it up if I need to use it for something specific. Then sometimes I'll try to find like a sentiment to go inside that makes sense to go for whatever the occasion is. So that's that. And then I'm going to go ahead and attach these 2 pieces here. And then we'll do some stamping. And I have all kinds of lights and still have a bunch of shadows, so I'm sorry if you're having an issue with all the shadows. I'm trying. Okay, so just a little rim of that, but you can see the pattern here. Hold on. So hard to see. It's very faint, but it's there. Okay. So this is going to end up going on here, but we're not going to attach it yet because I did attach that on dimensionals, and I also added some twine before I do that. I'm going to do some stamping so I can do some cutting here. I'm going to use the Memento. The Memento, when you stamp this and then you color it with the blends, the stamp stays nice and clear and crisp, and it doesn't bleed into the paper or anything like that. So I'm going to stamp this twice, actually. Okay, so pro hack. I am going to do some fussy cutting of the same flowers that are in this bundle, so I'm going to make sure that I have loose and that they're going to be colored exactly the same. So clean that off with my chamois. And where's the lid? Here we go. Actually, I'm going to do one more too. I'm going to do the pot. So, or the pail. So, and the pail is going to go on to this lovely pool party. I love Petal Pink and Pool Party together. I love that they are sticking around with us. I love it. And we're going to do some heat embossing on this one too, but I'll do that in a second after I trim all these out. Clean that off. And now I can put that on for the time being. Oh, actually, I did do one more on this one. And I actually would have done this before I attached it had I paid attention. That always happens, but I'm going to do the Sending Love. And you can use any of the colors from the suite, but again, when I'm doing sentiments, I kind of like the darker. So I'm going to just go ahead and do Memento since it's out. And I'm going to try to line this up in the top corner. Of my project. Okay, lots of fun stamping on this one. Okay, so that's ready to go. This one needs to be die cut, so I need to get that one die cut out. And then I'm going to run this through twice with the flower outline here. And so we can actually color this before we even die cut. I think that might be easier. All right, and this is all personal preference. You can use whatever colors you like. I did use quite a bit on this one. So I try to start with the lighter colors and then work my way to the darker colors, but that doesn't always work. I do hear my son, so probably gonna find me down here. Hopefully I can get through this without too much interruption. This is Lemon Lime Twist. Man, I thought that they would sleep a little bit longer. It takes me too long to get moving with the things I want to do in the morning, but oh yeah. We'll just do some coloring and the I haven't gotten to watch it as much as I wanted to though. So this is Old Olive. Use this. I don't even know. I think I used it on these. I hear my baby. He's definitely going to come find me. And this is why I work at midnight. Because mornings are hard when you have little kids that need you. I thought I was up earlier than I was, I guess. Hey. Good morning. Hi, buddy. I'm doing a tutorial. Can you take the baby upstairs for me and help him? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and continue. I'll see how far I can get before I get interrupted again. Hopefully, I can move quicker. This is the new Pretty in Pink color. It's a new returning color. This is dark, sorry. Let me start with the light one. Pretty sure it's pink. Roses. see how this would be very therapeutic. So the big flower I did in Flirty Flamingo. The roses I did in Pretty in Pink. Coney. And then I did the greenery in the lemon lime, the old olive, and lemon lime twist and old olive. Twist and old olive. Then I did lemon lolly for the middles of the flowers. And I had Pool Party, Boho Blue, and Balmy Blue. All three of those blues to help make this beautiful flower arrangement. And I told you I'm going to try to put my markers away as I use them so that I don't have a huge mess at the end, hopefully. Okay, so now I can go ahead and cut these out. Okay, so now we have some fun cutouts. And what I did, I used, this is linen thread, and I wrapped it around like this. You can also do faux bow if you want to get that around like that. And so it just, oops. Here, let's see. I can just add a little bit of too much. So there. And go ahead and use dimensionals here to keep this on here. Actually, let me do one more. And I can put this down and I'll start to build around. Like that. And then, so for this one, you can just see which one looks better as far as like which one's going to be easier to cut around versus which one just looks nice how it is. And these I'm going to end up putting behind like this. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this with my Versamark. So and I used white embossing powder for this, and I did the Flower Market stamp. So Flower Market. And I'm going to go ahead and turn on my heat embossing gun. Okay. This one is done. So it kind of looks like a flower shop, and you're like, and they're, you know, cutting and making this, and I don't know, I thought it was really sweet. I think you want to put some of these little petals up. Make it come alive. Beautiful. This one now. So this one I had a lot of things going on, a lot of techniques, a lot of color. Let's see. I also used a little piece of vellum in these beautiful new circle dies. Base is the same as the other ones. And then I don't have any special cuts. I used, so this is 5¼ by 4 insert. And then the front, I am gonna measure this. So 4 by 5¼ for the base, and then this is 3 7/8 by 5 1/8. Hey, buddy. Hold on. Okay, I'm so sorry about that. I am back now, and I am going to do the next step on this project, which is the background, which I used the Rays of Light stamp. Mine's messed up, but this is what it looks like here. And I used the Misty Moonlight. Here we go. So okay, that should be good. And then this is a giant block, so this is hard to place here. I'm just going to do my best. Alright. I guess it could be better there, but honestly, I'm going to cover that up anyways. It doesn't really matter. I'm going to clean this off. Harder to clean it than to stamp with it. Alright, so now I can set that aside. Alright, so now I have my background. I'm going to go ahead and attach my background to this Smoky Slate cardstock. And we'll get that on there. Nice and easy. And this is going to get adhered right to the front of the cardstock here. Like this. Just kind of wiggle that in place. Okay. So now I'm going to grab a couple of different things. So I need this so I can make some stamps. This I'm going to make a cutout, a circle cutout. Let me grab that die. So these dies, Spotlight on Nature, are my favorite new dies that are in the new catalog. These are fantastic, and there are 2 layers of them. So this is amazing. I actually used this one, the 2 largest ones on the front here. I used these 2 dies, and I did the larger one with the vellum. This is just a piece of blank vellum. You can do any kind of vellum. And then I did this one on here. I'm going to go ahead and die cut those. Okay, so now I have that piece, and I have that piece ready to go. And, alright, so this piece is going to end up going underneath, and I kind of put it all the way to one side like that when I glued it down, but I'm going to go ahead before I do that, and I'm going to do this piece and the stamping on this one too. I used a blending brush and some petal pink here. Let me show you. This is one of my favorite techniques. So I love the blending brushes so much. It's just a really neat kind of thing that we can do. I always do it off the paper first, and then I bring it to the paper. I start in the middle. I kind of push down a little bit and bring it out to the sides, but definitely darker in the middle. But I do the whole circle just like that. So I add like a little hue in the middle, and then kind of bring it outside. So it's like this, kind of like a spray of color. And then I actually used this little guy. So on here, this little guy right here is the next one I'm going to use on the Petal Pink. And then I just started in the middle, and then I worked my way out to the sides. All right, so it looks like that. All right. And clean this off. All right, so now these two pieces are ready to go on. So, and I just used a little bit of glue in the back here. I told you I kind of pushed it all the way to one side. So the part that messed up right there, you're not even gonna be able to see it. So put that down. And then I'm gonna top it off with this little guy. Oh. Got a little bit of blue on there. Maybe it was on my fingers from earlier, but I am not worried because I'm gonna be able to cover it up. And okay, so that's on there now. So that can dry for a second, and we can stamp our pots again. So I'm going to use the Memento stamp the teapot. Okay. Stamped the pail. Okay. Stamped the roses. And the flowers. Up here, just like that. And everything as I go. All right. So now I'm going to color. And I used all of these colors here, and I actually did use Petal Pink as well. Petal Pink. Oh, I have it over here. So Petal Pink is the lightest color here. Let me see if I can make it closer. There, so you can see this. Going to, remember I like to color the whole thing my quick way, like this. Misty Moonlight to do the bottom like that. And I used it for this one as well. And right here. Just like that. Right? And then I use the Pool Party, the dark Pool Party for this pail. I'm just gonna I'm just doing it kind of more in the lines on this one because I don't want my dye to like cut into the color. So, looks pretty good. And I forgot to do this little guy. Alright. So now I use soft seafoam for this wildflower here. Actually, this is this one. Like that. And then I use Granny Apple, light and dark for the other leaves. Just like okay, and then here I'll do light daffodil. Dark daffodil. And then I used a blender pen and I just brought that yellow out on that flower alone. So just to like help that spread evenly. And then I did the light and dark real red for the roses. Obviously, if you are watching this, you don't have to sit through this. You can speed through this coloring bit. Okay. And then I used Blackberry Bliss for the biggest flower here. And this is the dark soft sea foam, I'm sorry. Alright, so now that those are all done being colored, I'm going to go ahead and use my dyes to get those out. So I need this one. I need this one. Okay, I also am going to need this one, and I'm also going to need the teapot. Like that. I'll be right back after I cut those out. Okay, now that I have all of these cut out, which the dyes did all the work for me, so I don't have to worry about that. That's awesome. And I can set these aside. And then let's... Oh, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. Let's do that one. Alright, let's see if I can... Okay, so now I can start to build these pots. So this one, I actually put this one with this one, and I think I just did this where I put a thin line of glue right here, and then I just added my flowers on like so. And then I kind of put this one down on the bottom like this. Actually, then I did this one, and I kind of just put this one here, and then I added the flowers like as if they were coming down the side of this one. Just like that. Okay, so now that's what it looks like so far. And I'm going to do the sentiment now, which I have to turn my heat gun on again. I need to bring my embossing powder back. Okay. And then all right, last thing I'm gonna do, I did add a couple of jewels on this, and I used this pack, which is the Opal Rounds assortment, and then I used the clear opals. I used one small one over here and two big ones over here. I thought that they kind of look like raindrops or something, but that is this card. And now I have one final card and design for you, but this is this one. You're sending love, lots of stuff going on. The heat embossing, the vellum, the blends, so many different techniques in this one right here, in this one card. Super fun to do, and not very that, I mean, none of these are that challenging, but it's very cool. Lots of, I think anybody would be excited to get that card in the mail. So let me pull up my last design, surprise design here. This is the last one I designed using this set, and I just did some simple stamping, and then I did another little heat emboss because I love the way that looks. Some beautiful perennial postage dies. So let's pull this one. So as always, we're going to start with the base. I like to do regular bases, especially in a workshop when I'm doing so many different things, so many different techniques. I like to just do a 8.5 by 5.5 scored at 4 1/4 base. It's a standard size card and fits perfectly into an envelope and everything. Get that base in, and then I am going to grab my perennial postage dies, and I use the two biggest ones here. So I'm going to use this one and this one right here on these pieces here. So I'll be right back with those. Actually, yeah. Okay. So we have a base. The base is going to get glued right on to front. And you kind of move it around as you need to make it perfect. Alright. Beautiful. And now this piece, I'm going to, I really liked the roses that I did on the last card, so like the red roses. So I'm going to make those again for this one. And I'm going to stamp all the way around, and I'll show you how I did this. So I did a side, and then I flipped, and then I did a side, and then I flipped, and I did a side, and then I flipped and did the last side, And then to add in the other two spots, I just used the roses. So I just went like this and like this. All right, so I made my own background border, whatever you want to say. And so obviously I have to color this in here. And I did the soft seafoam, the dark soft seafoam again for the little guys. For the little tiny greenery. Alright, so since my kids had woke up, I've been making breakfast and making lunches and doing all the things that I do on a day-to-day basis when I'm home with the kids. And it has been hard for me to get back down here. It's now nap time, so I'm going to steal a little bit of time here so I can hopefully finish this tutorial, but sometimes that's just what I got to do because I'm a very busy mom. But I love stamping, and I love stamping up all the products and all the stamps and designer paper. It's so much fun to play with in those quiet hours that I have, either after the kids go to bed in the evening or early in the morning before the kids wake up or at nap time. So for the last two cards here, I was what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for, Tara? Come on. Inspired. I was inspired by the Global Design Projects. So I don't know if you know what that is or not, but if you are a demonstrator or just an avid stamper and you love looking online at different cards and card ideas, I used the layouts for the Global Design Challenges to inspire me to create these. So that's sometimes how I get ideas, sometimes a picture. Like one of my cards, I saw this really beautiful picture with the flower petals coming down onto the table, and that kind of gave me the inspiration for the one card that I did, the second card. And I think I got all the greenery. I might have to come back over it, but let's do light granny green, granny apple green. Here, let me see again if I can't get a little closer so you can see this. But yeah, so every once in a while I'll check out the Global Design Projects to see either if there's like a color palette, a color challenge, or sometimes there's design challenges, sometimes there's casing the designer, which I want to say that both of these might have been casing. And I'll have to look them up now, but I just know I got inspired from watching those or checking out the latest ones. So I'll have to put the names of the people that I cased here so we can share everything, copy and share everything. I think this one was actually I don't want to say it wrong, so I'll just wait until I look it up here in a second. You can draw inspiration from anywhere. Sometimes it's something somebody's wearing, or a picture that I see. I think that looks good. I'll do roses. just go over and make sure I'm not missing any of the petals here. Looks good to me. So now I'm going to actually pop this up on dimensionals. That. And then lastly, I am going to use this black scrap piece again so that I can do the last little heat embossing. And then this card is almost done, and I use the Best Friend Ever stamp. And let's see. Actually, I'm just eyeballing this. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, last step, I'm going to go ahead and put this on there and put the gems on there. Alrighty. So just make sure it's opening the right way, of course. And then I'm just going to put this right here in the middle. Perfect. And then let's add on, I just use these iridescent foil gems. Like that. And this card is done. All right, so I'm going to bring back all the different designs now so you can see them. And let's see if I can change this back. This is the bonus card. And this one. So I hope that you like all these designs and that maybe you'll try them with something that you've been inspired by. And again, my name is Tara, and my website is right here where you can send me emails and get in touch with me. If you have any questions or if you'd like to request a catalog, I'd be happy to send one to you. And I hope that you will subscribe and like my stuff so that I can continue to keep putting stuff out there, and hopefully there are some other busy moms that get inspired by me, because I know that we have our little people and it's definitely hard to take some time for ourselves, but these are beautiful and useful. I'm excited about sending these to somebody else, and I always get excited to hear back when they receive it and love it. So I hope you do too. And thank you so much for watching. Take care until next time.